That breaking news, an officer-involved shooting on Dickerson Pike.
That's right. Let's get right to the scene with Julia Bruck. And Julia, we've learned the suspect was armed.
Yes, Vicki, we do know that Metro Police did put out a picture of a pistol. We are waiting for a press conference. Dawn Aaron is about to approach here and talk to us a little bit more about that. And we do know, though, I want you to take a look. You can see a lot of police presence in this area. There are dozens of officers out in this area. You know, Metro Police did put out in a tweet that there was a white SUV with a Robertson County tag. We actually saw that SUV just up there on Dickerson Pike outside a Mexican restaurant. It has crime tape all around it. We are told that is involved in this crime with the suspect. Now, witnesses tell us that they actually heard shooting back in this field area. We've seen a lot of police officers in that area all afternoon as well. And one of the witnesses says he heard not just one, but several gunshots. So we're waiting to hear more information about how this pistol and how a white SUV from Robertson County all tied together. You know, we do know, according to dispatch, that one person was taken to the hospital. We are not sure who. And we do know that, according to police, the suspect did fire at Metro Police officers. So we are going to turn over here to Dawn Aaron. He is a spokesperson for the Metro Police Department. I want you to take a listen.
5. At midday today in Robertson County on Hancock Road in Springfield, there was a home invasion in which a person waited for family members at that residence to leave. He then broke into the home, finding a senior citizen inside. The home invader tied up that senior citizen before stealing a shotgun, a pistol, a cell phone, money, clothing, food, and the keys to a white SUV from that particular residence. Because of the stolen cell phone, the Robertson County Sheriff's Office was able to track the suspect's whereabouts to East Nashville here in Davidson County. East Precinct officers were alerted to the vehicle's description as well as the suspect's description. The vehicle was actually spotted by East Flex officers in a parking lot at Dickerson Pike and Donald Street. The officers approached the suspect, who was outside the vehicle at the time they first saw him, commanded him to stop. Instead, the suspect ran from the parking area down a slight embankment to a gravel lot behind the buildings. The officers were commanding the suspect to stop. Instead of doing so, he turned toward them with pistol in hand. When he turned toward them with the gun, East Precinct Flex Officer Wesley McClelland fired on the suspect. He was hit. The officers provided medical attention to the gunman, and he has been taken to Skyline Medical Center for treatment. At this juncture, what we know from Robertson County is that they were looking for this particular individual last week for violation of an order of protection, were unable to locate him last week, and then we have the set of circumstances today. From what I understand from Robertson County, the victims today on Hancock Road in Springfield are innocent individuals unknown to the suspect. These people did not know him. He apparently waited for family members to leave. It appears he likely did not know there was still an individual inside. Officer McClellan is 27 years old and is a 4-year veteran of the Nashville Police Department. Officer McClellan is on routine administrative assignment while the shooting investigation takes place. But I want to emphasize, as Officer McClellan was engaged in the foot chase with the individual, with the gunman, he actually turned toward McClellan and other officers with gun in hand. It was at that point that Officer McClellan fired. We do know that the gunman is a convicted felon. He was released from the state prison system in September of 2014 after serving time for convictions of aggravated kidnapping, 4 convictions for aggravated burglary, a robbery conviction, and a felony theft conviction. Those convictions all appear to be out of Davidson County. Robertson County at this moment is working with us, attempting to notify his next of kin. Once that takes place, we will release that individual's name.
Just to make sure, at this point, Is he considered dead, or is he still alive?
No, he was transported to Skyline Medical Center. I have not heard of his latest condition, but I know he was transported by ambulance to Skyline Medical Center. Before the ambulance arrived, officers on the scene did render first aid to him, waiting on the ambulance. The ambulance got here, took him to Skyline.
So it was a cell phone tracking device that really helped officers find him.
Because of the stolen cell phone, the Robertson County Sheriff's Office was able to get the general location of where the individual could be. East Precinct Flex officers were aware of this information, aware of the vehicle description, the suspect's description, and actually spotted the vehicle there at Dickerson and Donald. As you all have reported, the vehicle does have a Robertson County plate. It's the same plate that was on the vehicle as when it was stolen. It was right out here in a parking area right off a main thoroughfare of Dickerson Pike. It wasn't difficult for the officers to see it once they knew what they were looking for.
Was the gentleman inside one of the markets or one of the restaurants up there?
The officers indicated to me that he was outside the vehicle when they first spotted him. They are now going through their full debriefing with our shooting team investigators. The suspect's next of kin has not been notified. Robertson County is working with us to do that right now. As soon as I have confirmation that that has taken place, we will release the name.
Was he able to fire the officers, and how many shots did he get?
From what I know at this moment, we do not believe the suspect fired. Again, from what we know at this moment. Officer McClellan is the officer who fired on the suspect. Other officers were close by at the time. The number of rounds discharged by Officer McClellan will be part of the investigation that we're conducting now.
And that pistol was found back there in the gravel parking lot?
That's correct. The picture that you have seen that we have released of the gunman's pistol was there in the gravel parking lot.
Was the pistol found next to the body of the gunman, or where the gunman fell?
Yes.
And they would have approached him initially up there
On Dickerson Pike, that's correct.
by that market.
Yes, the vehicle is parked near that market up there, yes.
They would have followed him sort of down the hill to this market.
You're correct.
What kind of vehicle was he in?
It's a white SUV-looking, van-looking type vehicle. I don't have the make and model of it yet.
You said he had an order of protection out of Robertson County. Who is the order of protection again for?
I will defer that to Robertson County. Let me say that Sheriff Bill Holt and his staff at the Robertson County Sheriff's Office have been very, very helpful to us in this investigation, both before the gunfire and after the gunfire. The Robertson County Sheriff's Office has some people here in Nashville, as well as investigators in Springfield continuing this investigation. But Sheriff Holt's folks can fill you in on what the man was wanted for there.
When you get a briefing, does the officer tell you what it was like when he had a gun pointed at him? What goes through someone's head like that?
Well, the officer will be giving his full account of what he saw, what he perceived, the threat he perceived as he talks to our shooting team, yes. He will be giving his full account of what he perceived, what he saw,
And this will
as
be
well as the other officers who were here at the scene.
And this will be investigated internally?
Correct.
No TBI?
The Nashville Police Department's shooting investigations team will handle this case as they have done quite well for a number of years.
So your last one was back in August that you guys had an officer-involved shooting, correct?
There was one last week.
Okay, last week as well.
The one last week in Madison, again, a gunman pulled a semi-automatic pistol on an officer outside a fire hall, forcing the officer to fire his weapon to defend himself. Anything else?
When would TBI be asked to investigate an officer-involved shooting? When would that happen versus the Nashville Police Department?
With the Nashville Police Department, specifically?
Yeah.
No, they would not be. Okay?
Thank you.